cowardly people who claim to know God, but punk out when it comes to freeing the people by telling the naked truth. The naked truth. The naked truth. By telling the naked truth.
Who got the tar? Who got the feathers? But now you mad if I would cop saying watch the weapon. Who raped your mom? Who break your paw? Who benched you? Knowing you're the star, they know who you are. And who got fat for plantation? Who wasted the Indians to try to waste the black nation? And you ain't mad at they're a Muslim for selling drugs to you, nigga. And you ain't mad at the Klan for torture.
Okay, thank you everybody for tuning in to the show, Us Lifting Us. And I want to give thanks to the people right here in the studio that always give such wonderful support to everybody that comes forth to do programs. And tonight we want to most certainly touch on Us Lifting Us economic program, something that's very vital, something that's very much needed, and there's been nothing in place, not in the talking stage, but in place to help us to regain our rightful place. And one of the things that we must do is regain our rightful place economically. And for those of us that in the listening audience that have access to a computer, if you will go to www.usliftingus.com, it can make it easier for you to follow what I'm going to briefly cover in terms of 12 slides that I have here with me. And also it will help you to be familiar with what's on the site. And there's lots of questions to ask, and certainly you can call in. And I do want to repeat that address once again, www.usliftingus.com. Make sure that you check that out, and when you do, you make sure that you pass it on to your family and your friends. This is very vital for us to gain control of our economics. And also want to advise you, and I'll repeat it again later, that we do have live call-ins, which is every Thursday night at 9 p.m., and that will be tomorrow night at 9 p.m. And always, whenever people are presenting information, always have you pen and paper handy to take notes and vital information. And I can give you the telephone number for the call-in, and I'll make sure I repeat it again later. But the telephone number for anyone that's writing it down is 619-326-2725. One more time, 619-326-2725. And then the call-in code number is 263-2133, and you press pound. 263-2133 pound. And once again on the computer, www.usliftingus.com. And Us Lifting Us economic cooperative organization, the intent is based on the fact that economically we are suffering on the economic scale. We are at the top in terms of combined income, but in terms of how much money did we keep in our community and circulate amongst ourselves, we're on a very low level. Recently, the president of Us Lifting Us had a conversation with Claude Anderson. Claude Anderson, who is the author of a must-read book, Powernomics. And the person that he was speaking to brought up the issue of inheritance. And what came forward was that in this country, for the most part, white people, the inheritance that they are born into this world with pretty much gives them about 87% of what they need to be successful in this society. So when asked where do black people register on that scale, the remark was that they were not even rated. Black people were not even rated. And most of us start with we're starting from scratch, starting from nothing. And all of those things are things that can be resolved. There's something that we can do something about. And what must we do? One, we must commit ourselves to coming together, pulling together, and circulating money amongst ourselves. And it's not something new. It's been done, and it certainly can be repeated. It was done right here in Richmond, Virginia, where one of the Black Wall Streets was on 2nd Street in the Jackson Ward area. And also other places across the country, including Tulsa, Oklahoma. And invite you that in just a few minutes, we will be taking your call, and we do want you to participate and ask questions. And don't forget about, as I said, every Thursday at 9 p.m., the live call in, and we do want you to call in and ask any question that you have on your mind, at any aspect about us lifting us, because we are committed to being very transparent, nothing to hide, everything is on the table. This is not some scheme, some hustle. This is not a multi-level hustle. This is about making a difference in our world community. And Us Lifting Us is available for our people anywhere on the planet. You do not have to be a U.S. citizen, so keep all of those things in mind. And on the online, www.usliftingus.com, when you open up the home page, in the top right-hand corner, you'll see a red bar, and it says ULU, which short for Us Lifting Us, ULU presentation. If you press on that button, it will give you a audio presentation, and you go through each slide, and where it says at the bottom of each slide, it says next. When you finish the slide, you just press next, and you follow it until you get to the last slide, which is slide 12. And also, if you just want the presentation without the audio part, in the top center of the page, there's a logo that says Us Lifting Us, the Us Lifting Us logo that you may see me pointing to right here. And if you click on that, that will give you the presentation just without the audio. So you've got a choice, and so you can get a basic presentation right on the home page, www.usliftingus.com. And the first slide is, at last, a winning plan to gain economic control of our community. And this is something that we must do. We must get busy about having, being involved, because we already do have a winning plan right here with Us Lifting Us. And that's slide number 1. And it's, as I said, it's available right now. It's in the organization is in place, and we need your support. And there's so much that's there available for us to do. And let me make sure. Next, what I want to do is go ahead and go to slide number 2. Slide number 2, which is there's an acronym. It's entitled DAM, which means decisive action with money. And the message there is that we've got to make decisive action with our money. And also, if you look at the slide, you will see a big body of water in black, and the black is representing the money of the black community. The green reservoir that's built inside of that body of water is representing a reservoir that we must dam up. And when you see the red bar is indicating a dam. And the objective initially is to dam up a portion of that money, not trying to capture. And what it is indicating there is that $1.3 trillion, and that's the green arrow, $1.3 trillion is flowing out of our hands every year in this country. And we must dam up some of that money and keep it in our community, keep it in our hands, and make good use of it. And Us Lifting Us have things in place to make that happen. We just need to be involved. And with regard to the $1 trillion, the question will come up in the presentation, and certainly the live one, is how much is $1 trillion? And for most people, they have no idea because it's just like a new language. Many calculators, a lot of calculators cannot calculate $1 trillion if you try to do that. And but more than $1 trillion, like $1.3 trillion, flows out of our hands every year. And the message that we want to emphasize is one, just as an example of the $1 trillion. How much is it? Use this example. If you had given to you $1 million every hour, every week, every month, how long would it take to equal $1 trillion? And the answer is, at $1 million an hour, it would take 114 plus years to equal $1 trillion. So think about that. We're giving up out of our hands $1.3 trillion every year, but yet at the rate of $1 million every hour, it would take 114 plus years to equal $1 trillion. Well, some people should say, well, we got to do something about that. And there's much that we can do about that. And among the things that we've got to do is we've got to make decisive action with our money and be mindful that we cannot go forward, we cannot be successful, and we cannot continue to just exist and just give up all of our money and not have the strength that would come out of having powerful economic resources, and especially as a collective, and cooperating and working with each other. And there's just many examples, and I know some of the people that are listening, got thoughts on that they've already thought about of things that we can do. Just as an example, let's take hair and nails. That's a big portion of that $1 trillion that goes out of our hands every year to finance others and to allow them to continue to build multiple businesses, to bring in their family members from out of the country into this country, to educate and send their children to college and on and on. And the hair is something that's not so complicated for us to do something about, because what is that hair industry based on? It's based on false hair, artificial hair, or on one level, somebody else's hair. But a lot of times it's just artificial hair, animal hair. But in any case, what's not complicated is we get in the right flow with our lifestyle, grow our own hair, grow our own nails. From the perspective of health, outwardly, two of the measurements of good health is hair growth and nail growth. And so when it comes to the black women that are spending lots and lots of money to finance businesses across this country and in Asia and beyond, we grow our own hair, grow our own nails, which is what we're supposed to do anyway. Our babies were born with hair. They were born with the genetics to have their own hair, their own nails, and we're failing. And there's everything's got a why, and we must address, and we must always know what the why is. And a lot of times people will say, well, I don't know what the answer is, but the answer is there if we look, and we got to have our intention focused on wanting to know what the why is. And when it comes to the hair and the nail, the answer to that is based on two major things, and one is stress, meaning living a just stressed out life, and the other is just plain long malnourishment, meaning that you think junk, you talk junk, but in particular you eat junk, you drink junk, and it has an effect on your entire body, and outwardly hair growth and nail growth is in that subject area. And there's just lots of examples of people that have done studies on hair, for example, and those things have been corrected. So, as I said, we've got to have a plan to take control of the flow of black dollars. The next slide, which is slide number 3, and if you're on the internet, just click on next. And it says, behold the turtle, he makes progress only when he sticks his neck out. And what we're asking you to do as a member of Us Lifting Us is to stick your neck out, and let's collectively do things to make a difference. But yes, you've got to get involved. Stick your neck out, and it will make a difference. And I will continue on. The next slide, which is slide number 4, it says all members have equal power. It's a fully democratic process. Active members have 1 vote regardless of the number of investment units. And when it says all members have equal power, this is quite serious, because we want to make sure that, no doubt about it, everybody has the same power. No member of Us Lifting Us, no board member, the founder, has more power. Everyone, it's a democratic process, and every member has 1 vote, regardless of the number of investment units owned. And with regard to being a member of Us Lifting Us, the basics is to become a member, and to become a member, it's $50, and beyond that, which we can get into later, and make sure that, as I told you about the Thursday calls at 9 p.m., which would also be tomorrow at 9 p.m., tune into the call and ask any question that you have pertaining to Us Lifting Us organization. But as a member, nobody has more votes, and so you don't have that, and your voice is recognized. You come in as a member, you've got questions, comments, something that you think could be done more efficiently. The organization is very democratic and very receptive to letting your voice be heard. And the next slide, which is number 5, a capital to fund cooperative businesses. And slide number 5, capital to fund cooperative businesses. All of the capital to fund the cooperative businesses is generated by Us Lifting Us members. This is a closed investment environment, and so all of the capital that's being raised will be raised by the members. And so it's not complicated. All we need to do is stick our neck out and join in together to build a pool of money and take that and put it out there. And we do have vehicles out already in place to make that happen in terms of having a return on your time and any money that you invest in Us Lifting Us. Slide number 6 is benefit to the community. And once again, anybody that's on the internet, you go to www.usliftingus.com, and you will be able to follow this on the internet, and you can even look at it later and make sure you pass the word on to your friends. But the benefit to the community and to the members is jobs. We would be able to employ, in the beginning, hundreds and then thousands of our sisters and brothers. And many of us haven't thought about it, but in the process of us employing our community, our people in our community, the unemployment rate would go down without having any input by anyone except us. And it would strengthen the local community base, and we would also be involved in charity and endowment, meaning that we could contribute to charities that would be beneficial to us, and endowments, and there will be a return on investment to Us Lifting Us members. And going to slide number 7. Slide number 7 is just not exact, but it's an image of a ULU market and exchange. And this would be in the range of 125 to 150,000 square feet, and it will provide a lot of things that's vital to the community, including a farmer's market, a place that black farmers would have access to bring their food, including organically grown food. It would be a place where we would have bulk buying of food, a place where we would have a variety of products available, a big wide variety, bookstores, but we also would have lecture halls, movie/entertainment theaters. And right now, across the country, there's a major problem. If you want to have a major event, a big wedding, a family reunion, it's difficult to find places where we can go and circulate that money amongst us. And as you're looking at it, it talks about a coffee shop and a networking lounge, and a thrift store, auctions on a regular basis, a commercial kitchen, and people that have a need for commercial kitchens, they know what that's all about, and space rentals and much, much more. So just visualize in your mind what it would be like for us to have that in our control. And do keep in mind that as a member of Us Lifting Us, when the first Us Lifting Us market is which will be owned by us, when the doors open through your involvement, sticking your neck out and the support of your dollars, when the first market opens, you will be a owner of that market. And once you're in, when the second, because the intent is to go from city to city, state to state, and of course out of the country, in other countries, Africa included. But as a founding member, you will be a part owner of each succeeding Us Lifting Us marketplace and exchange facility. And the next slide, which is number 8, and this is just a drawing that gives some idea of what the floor plan of the Us Lifting Us market will be like. And if you're online, www.usliftingus.com, you would be able to see it up closely. This is not necessarily exact, but it is just giving you some idea of the various things that we would have there. And we do need all of those things. We need the lecture halls. We need the entertainment/movie theaters because there's much that we can be done there. And there's lots of movies that the community needs to be exposed to that they're not getting in the movie theaters, and much, much more. And slide number 9. This is the money train. And the message, which there's several messages, and it's dealing with stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. The money train, as it says, the money train to economic empowerment for our community. Stage 1 is a community buy-in and alignment, meaning you secure a minimum of 1,000 passengers to be on the money train, and the money train has a secure business foundation. In that stage 1, that is a very vital stage to participate in, because there's going to just be benefits. In stage 2, which is called acceleration, the train now departs the station, talking about the money train, with gusto, and the campaign picks up speed as we continue to attract members. And the destination, of course, is economic empowerment of our community. On stage 1 and stage 2, actually I skipped when I read what I said was stage 2 is actually stage 3. Stage 2 is capitalization, and each member is encouraged to deposit in escrow any investments on with Us Lifting Us. And as I said, call in tomorrow, Thursday at 9 p.m. and every Thursday to the live call, and we'll get into greater detail about that. And I will make sure that you've already got pen and paper. Later, I will go back and repeat that phone number, the call-in phone number. But capitalization is a point that when the train is departing the station. But prior to that, any money that's going into Us Lifting Us, being received by Us Lifting Us as an investment, 100% of it goes into an already established escrow account in a black-owned, operated bank, Capital City Bank. And that money is legally tied up in escrow. Nobody, including board members of Us Lifting Us, can get that money out, because the legal agreement is that money will stay into escrow until a substantial amount of money, and the number and the goal which would change the status of the money in escrow from escrow into capitalization is $3 million. And so up until that point, 100% of all investment money will be in escrow. Nobody is spending it. Nobody is using it. And it's there, and we're transparent about everything, and you can be insured and assured, and plus on the website you can actually find the name, look up the name of the bank, Capital City Bank. And once that $3 million mark has reached, the money train will be ready to depart. And the original founding members who are now on this money train, and capital and the money the escrow has been closed, and the escrow will not be closed until all Us Lifting Us members have been notified that we are now ready for capitalization. And so you will not have that transformation from escrow to capitalization without you being, as a member, those who stuck your neck out, being informed that this is about to happen. And when it comes to the founding members, that investment money, which would be in units, every unit that you have purchased, and what we're requiring of Us Lifting Us members is that within 12 months of becoming a member, that you buy a unit. And once you buy a unit, when the money train departs and the escrow has closed and capitalization begin, the founding members who are already founding members and investors, their units will be 2 for 1. Meaning that you had purchased 1 unit, now you would receive 2 units for 1, and this will only happen one time, and this will only be something that will be offered to the founding members. And I pretty much covered that stage 2, and going back to stage 3 again, acceleration. The train now departs the station with gusto, and the campaign picks up speed as we continue to attract members. And the people that had missed the money train before it departed, yes, there will be more and more members. More will be excited about what has already happened. But once the train departs, the members who come after the train has departed will certainly have an equal vote. They just will not have their shares be 2 for 1. And to go to slide number 10, slide number 10 says Target X. Target X, which the Target X is is national success, and I'll let the cameraman just zoom in so you can see this. Target X, the objective is of the money that, I'm trying to make sure I got it right, of the money that comes in, the objective is to, I think I'm turning it the wrong way. The objective is to capture 1/2 of 1% of the flow, and this is based on profits, but to capture 1/2, just 1/2 of 1% of the flow, and that's equal to $5 billion. And then when we give consideration to expenses, and this is just a preliminary calculation, once we just give thought to any expenses, if we ended up with just a 1% net profit on that $5 billion, that will equal $50 million. And so just think for yourself, if this year we collectively had $50 million, what could be done with that? And I'm sure, make sure you call into the station, ask your questions or your comments, but there's just lots and lots of things that can be done with it. And just as an example, let's think in terms of our children and the status of our children, which there's an epidemic in terms of just deterioration of what's going on in the schools with our children, and lots of problems in the schools all across the country, and certainly right here in Richmond. The dropout rate is on the increase. It have not just come to a high level of 40 or 50% and just peaked. It is still growing, and there's something can be done about that. We collectively can do something about that. But we do need to have economic strength that will give us the resources to do that. And I could go into details about that, but do want to get to the last slide. And as I said, please call into the program, make your comments, ask some questions. And once again, anybody that missed out on what I said about the website is www.usliftingus.com. And the next slide is slide number 11. And slide number 11 is the turtle list and you. On slide number 11 on the website, if you click on turtle list, and once you stick your neck out, you would be someone that has stuck their neck out, and you would be on the turtle list, and all members that have stuck their neck out, they are on the turtle list. And if you click on that, that will give you the list, the names of the members. And as we pass the word, and make sure that you do your part to pass the word to your family, to everyone in your community, and everyone that you're in contact with wherever they are on this planet. And that's the turtle list. And anybody that did click on the turtle list, in order to go to slide number 12, which is the last slide, you just click on the back arrow, come back to slide number 11. And then next would be slide number 12. And there's more image to slide number 12 than what I have right here. But with slide number 12, it doesn't show on my printout, but it shows a red bar, and it says a request for additional information. And what we're asking you to do, if you want to know more about Us Lifting Us, and you're interested in finding out where Us Lifting Us is with regard to operating agreement, values, and ethics statements, if you just put in a name and an email address and press submit, you will instantly receive Us Lifting Us operating agreement, as well as the values and ethics documents. And that is the end of the presentation. And on Thursday nights, the initial presentation, similar to what I did, that will be done by the president or the founder of Us Lifting Us. It takes about 15 minutes for them to go through that. And then the phone is open for questions and comments. And we invite all questions and comments. And also, I did fail to mention that on slide number 12, if you look at the logo, the Us Lifting Us logo, if you click on that, that will open up a page which will give you the Us Lifting Us Economic Development Cooperative Member Application and Agreement. On slide number 12, if you click on the logo, it will give you will be able to print out a copy of the membership agreement, which is a 2-page application. But you'll be able to print it out and look it over and before you submit it. But on slide number 12, if you just do that request for additional information, you will be forwarded instantly the operating agreement as well as the values and ethics documents for us lifting us. And anyone got any questions or comments, please call in. And do keep in mind that there's lots and lots of things that we must do for our survival. And if we don't correct our situations in all subject areas, there are problems. We're not operating on the higher level that we can. And a word that I like to use and we must just embrace and make it a part of us is the highest good. And whatever is being offered to us, we need to ask ourselves, what is the highest good? A lot of times we can ask ourselves, what does it feel like if I do this or if I do that? Which one is the highest good? And so when it comes to all aspects of our life, our health, our wealth, our spirituality, there's just a higher level that we can come to. There's just so much that's going on, that's continuing to increase. And just on the level of health, there's just so many problems. Yes? Oh, yes. And the information is for the call-in, which is on Thursdays at 9 p.m., is the website is www.usliftingus.com. And if in the event that someone that may have a radio TV program and you would like to have Us Lifting Us participate in your program, we most certainly will very receptive to doing that, because we must, and that brings up another thing that we must do. We must network. We must network, and Us Lifting Us is about networking, and we network with other organizations, and there are some other organizations that have much that the community needs that have already joined in. And when we join in with each other, that does not stop you or your company from doing what you do and your specialty, but we are there together. And this is what we must do. We must be together. And it kind of reminds me of African wisdom that says, unity is strength, division is weakness. Unity is strength, division is weakness. So which one feels right? Well, the first one, unity, is strength. Strength feels right. Being divided and being weak doesn't feel right. Is that in the highest good? The highest good is to be together and have strength. Another African wise wisdom piece says, to cross the river in a crowd, it says cross the river in a crowd, and the crocodile won't eat you. Cross the river in a crowd, and the crocodile won't eat you. So anybody out there that's listening in, got any comments or questions, please call in to the radio station. The number is right there on the screen, 915-5202, 915-5202. And as I said, in all subject areas, we must do much better. We must strengthen ourselves, and we must raise up our vibrations. And just on that note of raising up our vibration, which I'm sure there's lots of people just have no idea what that's about, but all of us, all living things, people, trees, plants, rocks included, radiate a energy. But the lower that your vibration is, your whole spiritual, mental, physical, and even nutritional makeup is, your vibration is lower. And if you give thought to it like an energy that radiates from your body, which it is that, in some healing circles they use the word aura, A-U-R-A. And when we raise up our vibration, our energy, our aura goes out further. And when it goes out further, it has a positive and a healing effect on all of the beings and creatures around you, and you have a different kind of relationship. And those of us that know that as it relates to animals and plants, there's just a different and a more productive, prosperous relationship. And even when it comes to dangers of dealing with animals and people included, it can make a difference in even saving your life. And there are people that have been in the presence of animals in the ocean or in the woods, and their vibration made the difference in them not being attacked. And I know this is true. I can personally, testify to that. A few years ago, there was a man that came on television, and his specialty was going out around the world with various animals, but he also was into attacking the animals. And I suspect that he had that vibration, and the outcome was that he ended up being killed by an animal that probably picked up on that vibration. But we must raise up our vibration. When we raise up our vibration, it helps us being successful in just living, but it helps us to operate more efficiently and also more healthily. And to do that, we need to strengthen ourselves in 4 major areas, and I would say that would be spiritually, mentally, physically, and nutritionally. Yes, thank you so much for calling in to the show, Us Lifting Us. What's your question or comment?
Yeah, I have 2 questions.
Yes.
Shortly, could you maybe repeat a general history of the organization Us Lifting Us, how it came about? And number 2, in terms of people trying to find out more about this organization, how would they be able to identify where y'all at, what y'all do? And for those who are doing well, would there be an incentive for them to come and join you?
Oh, yes, there's incentive. I'll start with the last question. There's incentives for those that are doing well to come and join. Plenty of incentive, and we could talk about that. And certainly I would suggest that they call in to the live call-in tomorrow at 9 p.m., and I'll give the number. I'll give the number again so people can get their pen and paper ready. And I think the second question was where would they be able to contact us? And the contact information, when we go back to the banner that I have below, is right there. But also, if you go to www.usliftingus.com, it will actually give you an email address that you can email Us Lifting Us home office, and someone will contact you. And also locally, they can dial 804-314-8912, 804-314-8912. Caller, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Yes. That first question you asked, which was the one that...
First question, I've been on the history. What's the general history? How y'all came about? And how long y'all been?
Yeah, how it came about was the founder, who was an elder, about 70 years old, have spent since 1965 being involved in dealing with the subject of cooperative economics, and especially by way of the Nguzo Saba and the 7 principles. But he said since 1965 there have been no significant growth in terms of actually moving forward on that cooperative economics principle. And so about 3 years ago, he and some sisters and brothers just began to strategize, began to write things down and put thoughts down to formulate Us Lifting Us. And the outcome was that as they developed it, then in particular last year, they really set it off. And right now, there's no organized, in place organization with the intent that Us Lifting Us have since Marcus Garvey. Does that answer your question, caller?
Yes, it does, but I would like to raise a comment to that,
yes.
That philosophy.
Yes.
For years, African people, it has always been debated in terms of the methodologies that can best serve as unity.
Yes.
While still with the political question first before we deal with the economic question. How does that model address that question? In terms of, is it more important in this stage to have political unity first before we talk about economics, or can we just jump over to political unity and think we will be able to get economic unity? What is the philosophy on that particular question as relates to that organization?
Yeah, I would suggest that that you call in and ask that question tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Where the president and the founder would be on, because I would rather get their input, even though I've got some thoughts about it. But it would be better, because then it also, whenever you ask questions, it helps to inform the rest of the world community, and so people in and out of the country will be on the call tomorrow. That would be a wonderful question to ask.
All right, my man. Keep up the good work. I appreciate all the things that you have done and continue to do it. Thanks a lot.
All right, brother, and you keep up doing the good work. And tell me briefly, what do you do?
Well, this is Brother Lee, Brother Thurman. How you doing?
I'm okay.
What most people know about is like voice I have. But, I just continue to try to organize for our people, working for the API-PGC and African awareness, and we're trying to do many of the things that you are advocating. But as always, we have always put political unity first and foremost.
Yeah.
But we're all in this thing together, so, we're going to work this thing out.
Good word. Thank you so much for the call.
All right, have a good one, brother.
You too. Yes, and when it comes to the Thursday call, I'm going to repeat the call-in number every Thursday at 9 p.m. on time. The call-in number is 619-326-2725. 619-326-2725. And then once you call, they will ask you to give in the call-in code number, which is 263-2133, 263-2133, and you press pound. And it will ask you to just identify yourself, and then we'll put you on the call. And that starts at 9 p.m. every Thursday, which is tomorrow. Make sure that you do that. Make sure that you look at the website, www.usliftingus.com, and make sure that you come on the call and ask questions. Ask any questions, including very good questions such as Brother Lee just asked about the issue of the consideration of the political versus the economic. And tomorrow would be the ideal time to really answer that question. And if there's any other callers or comments, make sure you please call in. We're running out of time, and we thank you so much. And if there's any questions or comments, and as I was saying about the subject of raising up our vibration, Lee asked a question about economics and about clarity with regard political clarity in all subject areas. I would say that, we have been misled, and we've got to have a larger understanding in all subject areas of everything we deal with: religion, politics, sex and war, and on and on. Those are just some of the 9 areas that Neely Fuller deals with in his book, The Code System. And we need to make sure that whatever information that we are dealing with, that it is accurate. And there's just so many examples of information that we're dealing with, and we're not being given the information that's in our highest good, and many times it's not accurate. And we got to correct that. And so there's many pieces to do. Economics is just a part of it. Let me get this call. Thank you so much for calling in to the show, and please give us your comment or question.
Quick comment, brother. I just want to say, to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. What you're doing is very, very valuable, and indeed is very needed in the community. I just wonder, in terms of question, what kind of projections are we talking about in terms of profitability for the organization, in terms of actually being able to do the kind of things that you want to do as an organization?
Projections, you said, as relate to profitability?
Well, you got your business. I'm assuming you want to expand, correct?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, because you want the whole idea is to create more employment for the citizens, for the brothers and sisters in the cities, right?
Yes, that's true. Yes, absolutely. It's a necessity.
So in terms of projected growth, do you have any idea in terms of how do you see that whole process? In terms of initially, you probably want to at least you talk about employing at least hundreds of thousands of people, but at some point, I'm assuming you want to move beyond that to even greater numbers. So, do you have any projections in terms of how that would look like?
No, I don't. And yes, we would want to have greater numbers, but the projections that you're talking about would be easier to comprehend and to give some numbers when more of us stick our neck out and become members first. And so in terms of our immediate goal of getting people on the money train and raising the $3 million to open up the first Us Lifting Us marketplace, that is just along the path to getting to where you're talking about. But we've got to have our people. We've got the numbers of people right here in this country. We've got the numbers of people right here in the state of Virginia. But we've just got to reach the people that don't know about Us Lifting Us, and also reach the people that have they're distracted with their minds in other areas that's not beneficial to us at all.
Yeah, but it's an excellent model. So I hope it be the catalyst for more organizations to sort of take your cue in terms of economic vitality throughout the state. But anyway, brother, you have a good night and good talking to you.
And thank you so much for calling in. Peace. Yes, so that was a very good question. And so we've got 5 minutes, and I thank you so much for calling in. And we did want to cover some other things. And we've got to strengthen ourselves. We got to do what's in the highest good. I did have in mind of talking about some things if time allowed, but there's always another time. But there's a lot going on around the world that we need to be aware of, and oftentimes we're not even aware of what the significance is. And on dealing with the health thing, again, one of the issues that I had wanted to talk about was in our houses as well as commercial buildings, there are meters, So for years, there's been a person that would come in your yard and read your electric meter. Well, there's a new trend that's going on in terms of replacing those meters, and it's replacing it with what's called a smart meter. And do your homework, write that down, smart meter, and make sure you just go to the library, get on the internet and look it up. But what's been found, and there are lots of places, including organizations right here in Virginia, including some political ones that are just straight up objecting and demanding that no smart meters be installed. But if the public is not aware of it, they will be installed. And what has the outcome been of the smart meters? It radiates electromagnetic frequency that disrupts your health. It causes big problems with your mind, body, and I personally know of people that have had it installed in their house. They were not even aware that this was going to happen, and they immediately got very, very sick, called their family members up and said, look, I got to move out of my house because something was wrong. But fortunately for them, instead of being misdiagnosed by the doctors that wouldn't have known what was causing their problem, they realized that it was that smart meter, and they called the power company and demanded that it be removed, and the problems that they were having went away. And if you look into it further, you would also find that there's actually been school systems that the entire school system had to shut down because the children and the teachers were having major problems, and it was coming from that radio frequency pollution that had caused them a major problem with their health. And so we're getting ready to close out for the evening, and thank you so much for being attentive and taking notes, and hopefully you got the information. I said www.usliftingus.com. Make sure you contact us, email us, call us. The phone number is down here if you didn't write down any of the other information, and we'll be glad to talk to you, and be willing to stick your neck out to make a difference. In all subject areas, we need to make a difference. We need to. So all of you that got knowledge to do teaching, stick your neck out and inform the people so that we can come back to our rightful place. Thank you so much. Okay, we still got a minute, and do as I had said earlier when the call came in, raise up your vibration, and there's lots and lots of ways to do it. It was given more time to do that, but just concentrate on strengthening yourself, raising up your vibration spiritually, mentally, physically, and nutritionally. And don't get confused when I say spiritually. Does not have to be religious, but you must have that spiritual connection, spiritually, mentally, physically, and nutritionally. On the nutritional note, there's lots and lots of problems and challenges that people are going through. It's not in the natural order of things, and we can change that. A whole lot of the cancers that's developing is solvable, and is solvable without pollution, chemotherapy. And just on that note, you can't cure cancer with poison. You can't cure cancer with poison. You prevent it. Thank you so much.
Who got the tar? Who got the feathers? But now you mad if I would saying watch the weapons. Who raped your mom? Who break your paw? Who pinched you? Knowing you're the star, they know who you are. And who got fat for plantation? Who wasted the Indians to try to waste the black nation? And you ain't mad at they're a Muslim to selling drugs to you niggas. And you ain't mad at the Klan.